Good morning. Today we are going to start a new lesson called scatter chart. Now what is a scatter chart? See, in our first lesson we have learned about line charts. Basically, what is a line chart? Line chart means firstly we need to draw all the coordinates in our x and y axis. Then if you join all the points with a line, then it will become a line chart. Now what is a scatter chart? If you just plot all the coordinates in the corresponding x and y axis, but if you don't join them with a line. So the only difference between line chart and scatter chart is the line is not present in the scatter chart. Now, how to create a scatter chart in Python? See, in PyPlot library, there is a function called scatter to create a scatter chart. Firstly, we need to import matplotlib.pyplot.spl. Then we'll create two lists. One is x. This will contain all my x coordinates. Second one is y. This will contain the y coordinates, corresponding y coordinates, I can say. Now, if you write pl.scatter x, y, then all the points would be plotted. See, as the first coordinate will be 7, 10. As you can see, along the x-axis 7 and along the y-axis 10. So that means this is the first coordinate. Then the second coordinate will be 8, 11. So along the x-axis 8 and along the y-axis 11. So like this, all the points will be plotted. Now, if you write pl.grid, as I told you earlier also, the purpose of grid function, it is just used to display the grids. Now, you can use this function so that you can able to understand where the points are really belongs. And at last, I have used pl.show function to display the plot. So that's about scatter chart. Now, I believe all of you can able to understand this, and I'll come to the next program. Now, changing the size and color of the data points or each coordinates, I can say. Now, how to do it? We need to pass two different arguments in the scatter function. The first argument is named color to change the color. This argument will accept either the color initial or the color full name or the hexadecimal color code also. And the second argument is called S defined as size, is equal to 500 pixels. Now see, if I just change this size, if I make it 250 and then if I run it, you can see the size will be changed. And if you want to change the color, if you write it suppose B, then the color will become blue. So like this, we can able to change the color and size of the data points. Now I'll come to the next program, that is plotting to different scatter charts together. So if you want to draw two different scatter charts, you need a pair of x coordinates and y coordinates for both the charts separately. That's why just look at the program. I took here x1. These are the x coordinates for the first scatter chart, and y1 is the y coordinates for the first scatter chart. And x2 and y2 are the x and corresponding x and y coordinates for the second chart. Now, if I write pl.scatter x1, y1 color equals to G, that means the first scatter will be plotted and the color will be green. That means this green points are representing my first scatter chart. Similarly, for the second scatter also, if you want to draw it, pl dot scatter x2 comma y2, and you can give a different color so that you can understand that which points belongs to the second chart. Suppose if I give it also green, all the points will appear in green, and that you cannot able to understand properly that which points belongs to which scatter. So it is better to give some other colors. So this is the way by which you can create multiple scatters together. Now changing the markers. As we are talking of scatter chart here, the markers are everything in a scatter chart, because we don't have a line or we don't have a pie, anything, we don't have a bar. So only the coordinate points that are also called markers, that I have discussed in the first lesson also. So you can change the marker styles. For that purpose, you need to pass another attribute in the scatter function. It's called marker attribute. See, suppose for the first line, the program is exactly same as the previous one, just I have changed the marker styles. For the first line, I gave here a marker equals to x. That's why see the green line, in the green scatters, the markers are appeared as x. And in the second scatter, I put the marker as stars. That's why in the second scatter, the markers are appearing in star format. Like this, you can able to change the marker styles. So there are different marker styles attributes are available that I have already discussed in my previous lesson. So just check it, then you can able to understand in details. Now changing the alpha. Now what is an alpha attribute? What is its purpose? See, suppose I have used the same program, and here for the first one, that is the green line, I put alpha equals to 1. The alpha attribute we can use to change the brightness of the markers. 0 means there will be 0 brightness, that means the markers will be vanished. Like suppose if I make it to 0 and if I run it, see, this will not being displayed. And 1 means maximum brightness, that is the markers will appear. Now if you pass any value in between 0 and 1, so according to it the brightness will be changed. Suppose if I make it 0.2, then see the markers will appear but very low brightness is there. You can hardly able to see these markers. If you increase the value, suppose if you make it 0.4, then it will be changed accordingly. This is the purpose of alpha attribute. So I believe all of you can able to understand this. Now I'll come to the next program. It's legend. Now how to put a legend in a scatter chart? See, to create a legend, as all of you know that you need to give the legend function like this, pl.legend. Now for this levels, you need to pass another attribute in the scatter function. It's called level. Suppose in the first scatter I have mentioned level equals to x1 versus y1. That's why this green color cross, it will appear as its text as x1 versus y1, because it is the first scatter, and this scatter we have created by taking the x1 and y1 coordinates together. Similarly for the next one also I have mentioned x2 versus y2, that's why it's appearing here x2 versus y2. Now see, for the second one, second scatter, I have mentioned here alpha is equal to 0.2. That's why it's very much lighter than the green points. Now suppose if I increased it, if I make it to 7, then it will be much more brighter and you can able to understand it carefully. So that's all about the levels and legend. Now we'll come to the next example. Now my next example is how to combine the pandas data frame and CSV file with a scatter chart. See, initially I have imported matplotlib.pyplot SPL and then pandas SPD. Now I have a CSV file in my computer. It's present in the D drive. Its name is tb.csv. So I read this file and I store it in a data frame called df. Now, since this CSV file contains a lot of data, that's why I have displayed the first 5 data by using the head function. I believe all of you remember the purpose of head function. This head function displays the top 5 rows from a data frame. So print df.head, you can able to see the first 5 rows will be displayed. Now just study this data frame, what are there. Initially 0, 1, these are the row labels. Then the first column name is country. Then second column name is ISO 2 codes. Then ISO 3 codes. Then ISO numeric values. Then another code is there. And then year. Then population. And then increment in population. So these are the column headings. Now suppose I need to draw a scatter chart by taking 2 different columns, that is year and population. So in the next line I wrote pl.scatter df of year. So this will represent the whole column of year, and df of pop, that means this will represent the population column, and color is equal to green and alpha is equal to 0.5. So all these values will appear in green color, so that there are so much values are present. Similarly, I have created another scatter by considering the year and the increment in population by taking these 2 columns, and here the color is blue and alpha is 0.1 and size is 300. I have increased the size a little bit. Now just study this chart. See, since there are so many points are present, so many values are present in my CSV file, that's why all the points are being overlapped one on another. That's why we cannot able to properly understand the points. So how to understand it? See, here we can either use the alpha attribute or we can use the size attribute. Suppose for the alpha attribute, for the first one, if I make it 1, it will take some time. See, now check the points. You cannot able to understand a single point here at the bottom. Now if you decrease the alpha, if you make it to 0.4, then if you run it, now see, point will be very much lighter, the colors will be very much lighter, and you can able to differentiate between the points now a little bit. Same thing you can apply with the second one also, or you can just change the size. If you make it size bigger a little bit, then you can differentiate with all the points. So for this purpose, these 2 attributes alpha and size will be very much handy. So I believe all of you can able to understand how to combine the pandas library with a pyplot. and to draw a scatter chart. Now I'll come to the next program. The next program will be based on the random data set using NumPy attribute. See what I have done here. Initially I took a NumPy, import NumPy as NP, and then import matplotlib.pyplot as PL. Now I have generated my x coordinates and y coordinates randomly. So x1 is equal to np.random.randint. Here I have used the randint function. And as all of you remember that randint function can accept three different arguments. First one is the starting value, it will be the last value, and 20, that means the 20 point it will consider within that range. Similarly y1, x2, y2, that means whenever I'll run that program, every times whenever I'll run it, this values will be generated randomly, and every time the values of x1, y1, x2, y2 will be changed. Now, as all of you have checked in all the previous program, the size of the chart, it is fixed. See all the previous programs. In every program, the size of the chart is fixed. So, I believe if you can increase the size of the whole chart, then it will be better to understand. Like, check this example. Here I have increased the whole size. The size of the x-axis, size of the y-axis I have increased, so that I can able to understand each of the data points clearly. For that purpose, we can use the figure function, and we can write like this: pl.figure, then within first bracket fixed size is the attribute, is equal to 10, 5. 10 is the size along the x-axis and 5 is the size along the y-axis. Now I have plotted both the different scatters. Check the first one, pl.scatter x1, y1, then level I have put the first, then color is equal to green, size equals to 100, marker is equal to s, that means square, alpha is equal to 0.6, edge color is equal to k, that means black, and line width equals to 2, that means edge's line width will be 2. And similarly for the next one also, I have only changed the marker style and the color. So one is green square, another one is triangle, red triangle. Now I have put the axis labels, that is pl.x label is equal to x-axis, and here I have changed the font size also, that also you can perform. For that you need to write another argument within the x label function, comma font size equals to 50, and for the second one, comma font size is equal to 15, that's why it's 15. Now another two function I have passed here, that is pl.xticks and pl.yticks. So what is the purpose of this xticks and yticks function? Xticks function will use to display only this point which I have mentioned within the list along the x-axis. As you can see, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. All these points will be displayed along the x-axis. Suppose if I change one point, so it will be also changed. See, it will display up to 90. Similarly, yticks function will also display the points along the y-axis, and you can change the font size of these points by passing another argument within the xticks or yticks function. It's called size equals to 20. Suppose if you make it as 15 and if you run it, see the size will be little bit smaller than this one. because along the y-axis the size is 20, along the x-axis the points size is 50. That's why for this text 10, 20, 30 will be a little bit smaller. And then at last I have placed the legend. So pl.legend, and in the legend I have mentioned the font size as 10, and then LOC is an extra attribute. If you write LOC is equal to 1,1, then it will be displayed in this position. And if you don't mention it at all, then what will happen? Then the compiler will place the legend in any of the suitable position. That means, as all of you remember that here I have used the random function to generate the x and y coordinates. So every time I used to run this program, these points will be changed. Just see these points very carefully, then I'll again run it. See, the points are being changed. Now if I don't mention this LOC attribute, see just what will happen. Legend is placed at the left top corner, and if I again run it, see the legend is placed at the top rightmost corner. That means computer will decide by itself where to place the legend. And if you mention the LOC attribute, that means you are going to fix the point where the legend will appear. And 1,1 means it will be placed at the outer side of the frame. Now suppose, let me change these values. If you write here 0, 1, see what will happen, it will be placed on this side. If you write here 2, 1, it will be placed here. That means this distance will be represented by the first number. So I can write it 1. And what is the purpose of this second one? See, if I make it a change, if I make it 0, so it will be placed on this side. Every time whenever I run this program, it will come to the next program. Every time whenever I run this program, it will be appeared at this point. Now if I make it to 2, see, every time whenever I run this, it will be appear at this position. So like this we can able to fix the position of the legend by using this LOC attribute. So I believe all of you can able to understand this. Now I'll come to the next one. In my next example, just see here, in this program, current program, I have changed the points randomly, but their styles, that means their color or the marker types, these are fixed. Now suppose I want to change this also randomly. How to do that? See, study that program. Initially I have generated x1 and y1 two data sets randomly, and then I have created another third NumPy array. It's called size. This is for the size of the markers, and for this one also I am generating the size randomly. And next one is the color. Color is also another NumPy array. I took it and I have generated it also randomly. And then I have used pl.figure to increase the figure size. The size is 10,5. Along the x-axis the size is 10 units, and along the y-axis the size is 5 units for the frame. And then I have plotted the scatter chart x1, y1, then level is equal to first, then C is equal to color, and S is equal to size, marker equals to D, that means diamond, alpha I took 0.9, and edge color is K, that means black. These are the marker edge colors. And then line width, that means the edge line width equals to 2. And then PL dot X level, Y level, X ticks, Y ticks, these are just like same with the previous one. But the only difference is here I have used a single coordinates, X1 and Y1 coordinates. Now see, by default my chart is appearing like this. Here you can see all the points have different colors and different size. Now as I have set it the color and size randomly by using this NumPy arrays, whenever I'll run this program again, the size and color will be changed. Just see it carefully, and let me run this program again. See, the color and size are also changed. Again, if I run it here, again these are changed. So by using this approach, by taking the NumPy arrays, random NumPy arrays in size and in color, we can also change randomly the size and the color of the markers. So that's all for this example. Now I'll come to the next example. In the next example, what I have done here, see, I took X1 and Y1 as random NumPy arrays. Then I have increased the figure size as 20, 18. Along the x-axis the size is 20, along the y-axis the size is 18. And now suppose in a same scatter I want to just check the plot. In a same scatter I want to display some points in different format and some markers in another format. So that is also possible. How to do it? See, here I have placed a loop for a comma b in zip x1 comma y1. That means a will take the points from x1 and b will take the points from y1. And then I placed a condition if a is greater than equals to 50 and b is greater than equals to 50. That means if both the values will be greater than 50 simultaneously, then at the time of plotting I have placed the marker type as D, that means diamond, and color equals to M, that means magenta. So now check the chart. That means all the coordinates where the x1 and y1 values will be greater than or equals to 50 will be appeared in diamond shaped and magenta colors. Like study the x-axis and y-axis. See, this is the 50 point. See, all the diamonds are appear just of the right hand side of the 50 point. Similarly, this is the 50 point along the y-axis. All the diamonds will be appear on the upper side of this 50 point. Similarly, for the other portions, that means all the points that are below 50, else I have plotted them also by using a different marker S, that means square, and color will be green. So they are appearing with green square attribute. The rest of the portion is just same. So like this we can able to change some markers that will satisfy a condition in different formats, and the rest of the markers will be in different formats, that is not going to satisfy the condition. So that's all for scatter chart. Thank you.